So hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I hope you had a good day and you are having a good night. So also me, I'm also having I had a good day. I had a restful one because as you're seeing today, I did that thing. I unplayed it because it was really getting bad. And I also did read. So I hope you also did have a good day, even if you're busy. Now you can rest. So take your rest. Yeah. So basically, I am here to address something that I'm seeing. So, as I told you in one of my videos, especially with the current economic times that we are living in, I did tell you once that as I was watching news, being an intrusive kind of person and also training myself to also be a journalist at some point in my life, I did tell you guys that with the current economic times, the jobs are not to be found that much. The jobs are not be found are not be are not be are not being found. Sorry, are not being found. Pardon my English. Are not being found as much. So now, being that way, now as the current generation, Gen Z, please, please, please. This is not like the times that the millennials did live. In fact, the millennials are a bit selfish, and some of them are saying, how I wish I could be a youth again. How I wish I could be a youth again and utilize everything that I'm getting now, being that some of them are in their late 30s and some of them are almost crossing 40. So some of them are saying how and some of them are, especially the 1995 born, they have already reached 30, and some of them are saying that how I wish I could turn back time and go to my 20s. Because with the current digital era, everybody is having internet. Everybody is having internet. And even if you're not having internet, at least with the current with the current digital era, you can buy the airtime and it can give you that internet or you can buy the modem and it can give you that internet that you're looking for. So the millennials are really, they're saying that how I wish Gen Z can know that how they can utilize everything they have right now. So with the current digital era, Gen Z, I did tell you that being that we have been warned, and we were warned especially by the former deputy president, that is Rigathi Gachagua. We were warned and told that this is not that time that you can get a job easily. This is not that time that you can get a job easily. This is not that time that you can get a job easily, but still also you can get a job. So I'm meaning that you can get a job right now. You can also get a job, but then it will not be that easy to get it, but then you can also get a job. So now with the current digital era and with the current economic times, Gen Z, I did tell you, especially the people that are students, let's utilize this time and be selfish of it. Because I'm reading somewhere, Ashley Mazuri did go to her former university, I think the St. Paul University, that is. I think she went to either the Rimuru one or the Nairobi one, and she was, being that she's a renowned journalist from KTN, she did tell the students that are pursuing the career of mass communication and journalism that Utilize the studio. Utilize the studio. Utilize the studio such that when you come now in the job market, at least you will have utilized the studio and you will have done service for yourself, such that when you go now to take those CVs, or when you are called for internship or attachment, you will go there and work such that your job will actually give you the job. Will actually give you the job. So she was just that is what I think she was meaning. And a couple of people actually, when they come to talk to us, when they come to our campuses to talk to us, please let's hear them and ask them how they got the jobs. And if they tell you utilize something, please hear, because with the current economic times, you have to be very intrusive. You have to ask the question, my friend. You have to ask the question. Because as I'm telling you, some of the millennials are saying, how I wish I can be the 20s again. I can be in the 20s again. How I wish I can be in the 20s again. Because as I told you, because that's the reason why a couple of us are graduating, being that you told yourself that you're going to study a certain career. So a couple of us are graduating. Then when we come when you come outside, you find that now the game plan has to change, because you're going to be sending the CVs, then you wait. So you wonder, now I've graduated with this. How am I not getting a job? I've graduated with this. How am I not getting a job? I've graduated with this. How am I not getting a job? So now you tell yourself, now in order to get this job, I have to change my game plan. That's why I did tell you, now in the current economic times, and if you don't get the job that you desire to do, my friend, look for another way, or look for another career plan, and then because now you are a young adult, you can learn again. Because now you are a young adult, you can learn again. What I'm meaning is, you studied accounting, and then you have taken the CVs, then it is taking too long. Before you have gotten that job that you have desired. So my friend, when for example they tell you, when a couple of people tell you, come I did tell you, if they don't offer you the interview, then no, my friend, you're being scammed here. But then if they offer you the interview and they tell you, come and do this first before you get the accounting job, then my friend, so you are seeking to be employed, go there and work. Then go there, work at it. Then later on, the CEO or the manager or whatever, or the supervisor will tell you, now, my friend, you can come. Now, you want to become an accountant. Let me give you this. So, with the current, or if you have done, for example, if you have studied mechanical engineering, then you take the CVs, still you've not gotten the job. So now, my friend, and you don't want, and then you tell yourself you don't want to be employed. So my friend, you can change the game plan. You can change the game plan and tell yourself, now, since I want to create something, why don't I be intrusive? Why don't I check the CEOs that are being paid high money, or I go back to, or when I'm getting my certificate now, after I graduate, I go and ask some of my lecturers, or I go and ask the vice chancellor, sir, sir or madam, do you know of any CEO that has a business? Or I go and ask my alumni, the alumni that is at the alumni association of that your school. Then you tell them, sir or madam, I want to know the CEOs that are being paid. I want to know if you have one of or one or two of their numbers. And if there's an alumni that is also a CEO and that does the business, or is in the marketplace, you can also go and say, sir or madam, can I get to know, I've been looking for a job, and then, sir or madam, can you come and show me these skills that you learned in order to be in the business world? For example, in order to be in the business world. Or you can go to your lecturers and tell them, sir or madam, can you show me, because I studied this and this and this, can you show me another person that did this? And then they show you, and then after they show you, you learn. Cause let's be selfish, Gen Z. Let's be selfish of this time. Because as I'm telling you, the millennials are saying, how I wish I can be in my 20s again and utilize the time. So Gen Z, let's be selfish. Because as I told you, WhatsApp was discovered in 2009. Facebook was also discovered in 2010. And like all the other apps, they were discovered when the millennials were in their 20s. They were discovered when the millennials were in their 20s. And Google was also discovered in 1999. Google was also discovered in 1999. So Gen Z, let's utilize the time that we have. Let's utilize this time, especially for the students. Let's utilize this time. Instead of going to gossip or instead of going to gossip, why don't you go learn a skill? Or why don't you go unwind? And as you are unwinding, you can even go, if your school is privileged to have pool, for example, go tell a person, my friend, nioneshe kucheza pool. Or if your school is also gifted with table tennis, why don't you go take your friend and ask them, my friend, nioneshe kucheza table tennis, for example. Or if you have the indoor games like chess, you go tell your friend that, my friend, nioneshe kucheza chess. Let's utilize this time, Gen Z, because the apps were discovered when many of us, the Gen Z, were were 9 years. Some of us were 9 years. Some of us were 10 years. So Gen Z, let's utilize the apps that we have. Otherwise, the millennials are going to overtake us. Otherwise, the millennials are going to overtake us. And as I told you, we are the next. In those offices, in the parliament, we are the next. In those TV stations, we are the next. In everything, we are the next. So, my friend, let's utilize this time and be selfish of the opportunities that we get, and be selfish of the apps. So my friend, if you see you've graduated and you have sent all the CVs, to each and every company, and you're still not getting the job, change the plan. And then, because you have the smartphones, and probably you're on Facebook, you're on X, you're on what else? You're on TikTok, you're on Telegram, you're on Snapchat. Why don't you use that smartphone to bring your clients? Or for example, you're in LinkedIn. Why don't you use that smartphone to get the clients? Why don't you use that smartphone to get the clients? And then again, to the millennials, thank you. Thank you. Because some of us are really learning from you. Thank you to the millennials. We are really learning from you. Because some of us are really learning from you. And you are really getting inspired by your stories. And thank you. Thank you for showing us that we did it. Thank you for telling us that we did it. We never stopped to learn. And learning is why most of us are being called to each and every time we're being called. For example, outside the country, you're being called to the conferences, you're being called to some places that we never intentioned ourselves to be. So, to the millennials again, thank you for showing us. And for the ones that are telling us that we need not to be academic stressed, and we also need to use our university times by learning skills and also revising and reading. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir or madam. Thank you. Thank you, sir or madam, because for as I told you, if you're the people that did 844, there's a part that we are told in class 5 of apprenticeship. So some of us, we being the generation that I'm telling you, we are the next in the parliament, we are the next in everything. As I told you, we are learning by seeing. Some of us are really learning by seeing. Some of us are really learning by seeing, because as I told you, apprenticeship is learning by seeing. It's learning by seeing. So some of us are really learning by seeing. Some of us are really learning by seeing. So thank you, because to the millennials, because some of us are really learning by seeing, and some of us, we being the Gen Z, some of us, you are our role models. Some of you are our role models. So, sir or madam, if for example, you hold a Gen Z in prayers, and the Gen Z has never had any covering, thank you, sir or madam. Thank you for holding the Gen Z by your hands through prayers, through the advice, and through everything. Through the prayers, through the advice, and through everything. And as I told you once, that for individuals like Marianne, we will ask each and every question. We'll ask each and every question. So, as I told you, Gen Z have to be accommodated. They're not to be sent away. So, to every millennial that is really influencing my generation, that is the Gen Z, thank you. For some of us, as I'm telling you, we are learning by seeing. So, sir, madam, don't get tired of being our role models, because we are really learning. We are really learning, and so that we can pass it to Gen Alphas and Gen Beta, and after Gen Beta, the generation that will come after Gen Beta, they will also learn by us. So thank you to each and every millennial that is showing us that. And then to the Gen X, thank you also, because we are also learning from you, because some of you are our parents. So thank you also for we are also learning from you. And yeah, even though some of you have not yet woken up and know that we are in the digital era, for some of you, You have woken up and you have known that you are in the digital era. So thank you. To the boomers also, thank you. To the other generation after the boomers, thank you also, because some of us are really learning from you and you're really waking up and noting that you're in the digital era. So for the Gen Z, let's be selfish for some point. Let's be selfish. Let's be selfish and use this app and use these apps effectively. Let's be selfish. For example, you're studying mass communication and journalism. Utilize the studio. If you have the studio, utilize it well. Utilize it well. If you have the laptop, utilize it well and go to YouTube and learn the skills. Learn, for example, content creation. You can learn content creation, how to make a website, how to go learn. If you have a laptop, go learn the skills. And then if you have, for example, your phone, go check, and probably you currently did graduate and you're not doing what you studied for example, as a mechanical engineer. Utilize the social media channels that you are in and get the clients. Utilize the social media channels that you are in and get the clients. And then not to worry. There are also jobs, but then they are saying that we require someone that has 5 years experience, that has a 1 year experience, a 2 year experience. So as a 1 year experience, a 2 year experience, a 5 year experience. So Gen Z, in order to be experienced, for example, as a student, before you leave campus, you can, for example, go to the attachment. And during attachment, allow yourself to learn, such that when, for example, you will graduate, your head of department or the supervisor or whatever you call the person that heads that department that you are in, for example, you can go back to them and tell them, "Sir or madam, can you give me this company that I did go and do my attachment, or I did go to do my internship?" And then they give you the number of the CEO or the supervisor. Then they tell you, you can go. If they tell you to bring your CV, or they tell you to bring to write an email, for example, you tell the supervisor that, "You know what, sir, I did study this and this, but then I also volunteered in this and this company. I also did go for internship in this and this company," and then they will reconsider you. But then, Gen Z, let's be selfish of these apps and use them effectively. An app like Facebook, an app like X, an app like Instagram, an app like TikTok, an app like YouTube, let's use them effectively. Because as I told you, the millennials, some of them are even telling themselves, "How I wish I could be in my 20s. How I wish I could be in my 20s. And then to the millennials, not to worry, the apps have already been discovered. You can also use the apps effectively also. Because as I told you, as you heard, I once heard from Apostle Joshua Selman, who did say that keep developing yourself, for learning never stops. Keep developing yourself, for learning never stops. So keep developing yourself. You could be a lecturer, you could be whatever you are, whichever field you are, But then, keep developing yourself, for these apps are not going anywhere anytime. They are there to help. So, keep developing yourself. And once you do all this, the Gen Alphas and the Gen Beta and the generations after us will learn also, and they will get inspired, and they will know to be in a generation does not matter. They will know that to be in a generation does not matter. All that matters if you are resilient. All that matters is if you are resilient, workable, and diligent, and also prayerful. Let us not also forget God, because He's the one that created us from His image and likeness. So let us not also forget God. Do have a good night. Do have a blessed weekend. And watch, like, comment, share, and subscribe.